All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are lacing up and doing a deep dive on a shoe that has a ton of people talking, the Hoka Rocket X3.
If you're a runner, you know the feeling, right? You're always on the hunt for that little extra edge, that piece of gear that might just help you smash your personal best. So, the big question we're asking is, could this shoe be that secret weapon?
Okay, so first things first, the Rocket X3 is not your everyday go for a jog around the block kind of shoe. Nope. This thing is a precision-engineered racing machine built from the ground up for one job, getting you across that finish line faster. So, what's going on under the hood? What really makes this shoe tick? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at the technology that's powering the Rocket X3.
With this shoe, Hoka's whole philosophy is about teamwork. It's not just one feature. It's about how three core pieces work together. You've got that classic plush cushioning Hoka is known for, the active foot frame to keep you stable, and their signature meta rocker to make your stride incredibly smooth. Let's focus on that active foot frame for a second. The best way to think about it is like a bucket seat in a race car. Your foot doesn't just sit on top of the midsole, it sits down inside it. The foam actually comes up around your foot, cradling it. It's a super smart way to add stability without adding heavy parts or extra weight. And when you look at the specs, well, the numbers don't lie. For a men's size 7, we're talking just 191 grams. That is seriously light. The 7mm drop is a great middle ground that works for a lot of runners. And look at that stack height. It's pushing right up against the 40mm legal limit for racing. They're using every last bit of cushion they're allowed to.
So what's actually creating that ride? Well, the engine of this shoe is a full PIBA foam midsole. One of those new super foams that gives you incredible energy return. Sandwiched inside that foam is a carbon fiber plate to give you that pop and propulsion. And the whole thing is wrapped in this super thin, almost see-through knit upper that's all about letting your feet breathe.
Tech specs are one thing, but none of it matters if the shoe doesn't feel good, right? So let's get into what it's actually like to have this thing on your foot.
A few things you'll probably notice right away. The forefoot runs a little on the narrow side, so if you have wider feet, that's something to keep in mind. You might also feel a little bit of heel slip when you're just walking around, but weirdly, that seems to totally disappear once you start running. And a huge win is that upper, it's so breathable, and if you run through a puddle, it dries out super fast.
Okay, here we go. This is the main event. All the foam, the plates, the fancy tech, it all comes down to one simple question. How does it run?
It seems like after a run or two to break it in, the shoe's real personality comes out. And that personality is this fantastic combination of soft, but also really springy. You get that cushioned landing you expect from Hoka, but it's immediately followed by this energetic bounce that makes for a super smooth ride. What's really cool is how versatile it is. When you're just cruising on an easy run, it feels stable and smooth, and it doesn't try to force you to go faster. But the second you decide to pick up the pace and push a little harder, bam, the shoe comes alive. It just responds. The big payoff is that at race pace, it feels like you're putting in less work. Honestly, if you had to boil the entire performance down to just one thing, it would be energy efficiency. That's the star of the show here. No matter the pace, the shoe just seems to make running feel a little bit easier.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from the review really says it all. In an actual 10K race situation, the feeling was that the shoe noticeably reduced effort. I mean, for a race day shoe, that is the magic phrase you want to hear. But of course, no shoe is perfect, and to give you the whole story, we have to talk about a couple of really important things that came up: stability, and maybe even more importantly, durability. So, stability-wise, it's pretty good, especially for neutral runners. It does a nice job of keeping your foot from rolling inward too much. It was tested on runs up to 15K without any issues. The big question mark, though, is how it would feel for someone who overpronates, especially over longer distances like a full marathon. We just don't know for sure. And now for the big one. This number right here, yeah, it's not a typo. The review found visible wear on the bottom of the shoe before it had even hit 50 kilometers. That is really, really early to be seeing breakdown on any shoe. And this brings us right to that classic trade-off. The Rocket X3 is like a Formula One car. All the things that make it so incredibly light and fast, the minimal rubber, the exposed foam, are the exact same things that make it less durable. This is a shoe you save for race day, not one you grind out hundreds of training miles in. So, we've looked at the tech, the feel, the amazing performance, and the pretty significant drawbacks. Let's pull it all together and figure out if this is a shoe that should be on your radar. So let's break it down. Who's gonna love this shoe? I'd say it's an amazing choice for neutral runners who love that soft, cushioned feel and are targeting races from a 10K up to a half marathon. On the other hand, you might want to look elsewhere if you need a durable workhorse for daily training, if you have wide feet, or if getting the most miles for your money is your #1 priority. And that really leaves us with the one big question you have to ask yourself. When you think about your own running goals, is that shot at peak performance on race day worth the fact that the shoe might not last very long? It's a tough call, and honestly, the answer is going to be different for every single runner out there.